Good morning. Welcome back to Harmony Yoga. I'm Julie Farmer and I'm really happy to be here with you on your mat. So today I'm going to invite you to take a lying position, and if it's been a while since you've been on your yoga mat or you've just been exercising or something, laying down on your mat is going to feel really nice. And just begin to move in a way that your body is asking you to move, and then kind of find a stable position there. Let yourself ground into the earth, and we'll get started with these few thoughts here. Thinking about stability. So many times people think, oh, I'm inflexible, I shouldn't do yoga. Well, the gifts of yoga are pretty broad, and learning to how to be open, finding that freedom in your body through yoga is the whole point. But the other gift of yoga is stability. And I think about that. My word for this year is lighthouse, right? The stable, secure, grounded, tall structure that's just being asked to shine light, right? I love that idea. So that's my intention for this year. And that word that comes to mind is stability. I think of all of the things in my life that promote stability. So having gone through some traumatic experiences, I realized my family support, my faith, my community, and the knowledge of yoga actually does give me that sense of stability. So I look at yoga as one of the pillars of my life. There's many pillars, but like an additional leg on the table, it gives you more stability. So the more legs on a table, the more stable it is. And yoga is like the do-it-yourself of self-care. So I do love regular therapeutic massage. I don't find that to be self-indulgent anymore. I find that to be very much part of my wellness routine. And all the different modalities. So I have found a wonderful place here that has all different kinds of modalities that, depending upon what you need. Sometimes it's more emotional. Sometimes it's the connective tissue, the myofascial release. Sometimes it's really you just need that help relaxing after something that's created some tension in your life. So a nice Swedish massage. So there's all different types, and yoga is like one of those. When something goes awry in my body, I can turn to yoga for knowledge, insight, patience, and direction. So join me today as you are lying on your back. I'm going to join you also. I had something going on in my lower back today, and I started with this program that I'm going to do with you here shortly, and I noticed I was feeling some relief in my low back almost right away. So what I want you to do is, from that lying position, I'm noticing, let's see if I go further back, is that better? So lying, now stretch in both directions. So reaching arms overhead and reaching your toes, really trying to create that length. And then hug the right knee into the chest. So I'm not sure what's going on where you live, if you've got snow to shovel, but this time of year can really wreak havoc on people's backs. And so I want you to be thinking about the stability, especially in the lower back. If you're not bending your knees as you bend down to shovel, pick up the shovel and scoop the snow, that's going to wreak havoc on your back. So let's just create a little bit of freedom and stability simultaneously here. So we've got both knees that we've hugged in. Did I say hug the left in? And then go ahead and hug both in and rock here side to side. And maybe you notice where you've got a little bit of tension, a little bit of kind of a tweaking feeling in your low back. Just notice that and see how this practice helps. Go ahead and grab your kneecaps and push your knees away from you. Feel the low back lift up off the floor, and then go back the other way. So this time we're going to exhale as we hug the knees in, and inhale as we draw the knees out, and go one more time. Hugging in, good, and pushing out. Good, now drop the feet to the floor, and the same idea of lifting the low back. So imagine you can drop through the groins and lift through the upper back. So it's going to be subtle here because the floor is limiting our mobility, but go with that. So we're pressing the hips down and lifting the low back up. And then go the opposite way. So flatten the low back, and we feel a little bit of tilt of the pelvis here. And now let's add the breath. So inhale and exhale. So this is a lying cat-cow position. We're going to do this also on our hands and knees so you can feel what's going on in the back. So lifting and lowering. And this time I want you to take your hands and push your thighs away from you and let your low back lift up off the ground. Now keeping the pressure there on your thighs moving away from you, attempt to straighten your back. So it's going to be tough because you've got something else going on here with your thighs. So you're pushing the thighs away and attempting to scoop the back. Now lift the low back again, take a deep breath in. And exhale, push the thighs, begin to try to straighten and lower your back. Good. Roll on to your right side, come to all fours. So here we are in an anatomically neutral position with hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and then we're neither dropped nor lifted through the upper back. We're going to find this neutral position. Extend through the crown of the head and extend back through the hips. And now inhale, drop the belly, lift the head and heart, lift the hips, and exhale, go the other way. So notice it's very similar to what we are doing on our back, but the range of motion is greater here. Explore that posture in your body with your stuck spots, with where you might be feeling some tension. And we want to honor that without exacerbating that pain. So we want to just listen to the body, back off if you need to. Good. And then take the knees wide and big toes together. Go ahead and sit your hips back onto your heels. Stack your forearms, rest your forehead. So feeling here the stability of the earth underneath you. So with your mind's eye, travel the body and notice what parts of the body are touching the earth, and really connect those parts of the body to the earth. Rise again to all fours. Curl the toes under. Walk your hands forward one hand's length and push up to downward facing dog. So bend your knees to start with. Push your hips back, push your hands forward and press down through your fingertips. And then lift the hips, lower the heels, keeping the knees bent if you need to, in order to find that place for you that doesn't feel like you're overdoing it here. Maybe even bending one leg and then the other, you start to warm up, especially the tissues on the bottoms of the feet and up the back of the legs. That helps the hamstrings start to open. So either bending one or both, one at a time or both together. Good, and then look up at your hands, hop or step your feet forward to forward fold. Now keeping the knees bent here for just a moment, come up onto your fingertips. You can always use a block, okay? So either way you want to do this, but we're going to inhale, lift the hips. Maybe the legs begin to straighten, maybe not as much, that's okay. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift the hips. This time bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky, inhale and rise. Good job. Coming to the front of your mat, you can have your block there handy. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, and exhale, fold over. Again, bending the knees as you need to, or grab the block. And inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, step the right leg back to deep lunge. Move your hips here side to side. That alone can create some freedom in the low back. Really exaggerate. Stick your butt way out, scoop yourself way under, really exaggerate, and then come to the place of the middle. Reach the crown of the head forward, the back heel back, and round and look back to your belly. It's a version of cat-cow here in a lunge position. Inhale, reach forward, and exhale, look to the belly, and then step back to down dog. Lift the right leg up to the sky. Swing that leg all the way through and up between your hands. Other side now, move your hips side to side. place of the middle, and then we reach forward with the crown of the head and look to the belly on the exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale, look back. And step forward now, forward fold. Bend the knees, reach the hands forward and up to chair, and then push down, rise up. Bring the hands to the heart here, pause. Feel the stability of the earth beneath your feet. In fact, roll onto the inner edge, the outer edge, and then find that place in the middle where the ball of the big toe, the inner heel, the ball of the little toe, and the outer heel all connect to the earth. Lift and separate the toes. Move the thighs back. Scoop the tailbone down. Take a deep breath in. Shoulder blades come together on the back. Palms face forward and the head pushes back. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, come down, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, release down. This time, step the left leg back, drop the back knee down, and inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Adding a gentle twist, take the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Or you can build on this posture by bringing your left elbow over to the right knee. Again, building, challenging yourself, you can straighten the back leg. Either way, we're going to step back to top of a push-up position. Lift the hips, lift the inner thighs, and then scoop the tailbone. Draw the belly button toward the spine. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back. Bend the elbows and drag them back. Hug them into the body. Lowering down. Inhale, lift up to cobra, dragging the hands back. Tuck the elbows in by your side. Press the tops of the feet down. And lower. Press your forehead into the floor. And one more time, hands back, lifting the head. This time, reach your hands back next to your hips and lift your legs. You can also reach out to the side or out in front and lower. We're going to lift one more time. Inhale, lift the legs, lift the arms. And now drop the right foot and the left hand and go the opposite way. So, probably out of the, so you're going to go right foot lifts, left arm lifts, and then drop that and go the other side. Alternating with the breath, inhale and exhale. Good, one more time. Hands next to your hips, push back to child's pose. Reach your arms forward. Curl the toes under, lift up to down dog. Reach the left leg up to the sky. Bring that foot all the way through, or just drop your back knee. Reach back and grab that foot and bring it forward. Inhale, reach up. Squeeze your legs together, squeeze the arms like you're pressing into a block. And then rotating over to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. You can stay here, or you can take the right elbow on the left knee, pressing the hands together, separating the elbows. Lift the back leg if you want that challenge. Reach your hands down to the mat, step forward, forward fold. Inhale again, halfway up. And exhale, release down. Drop your hips down. So this is what it looks like from the side, but I'm going to come forward and just give you a couple pointers here. The wider apart you take your feet, the wider your knees, the easier it is to get your torso to come between the thighs. So you can keep challenging yourself by bringing your feet closer together. And of course the challenge is to keep your feet flat. Good, and then go ahead and drop your hips down. And come onto your back. So a couple other strengthening exercises for the back is a bridge pose. So we're going to feel the stability of getting ourselves set up here. So feet are flat, knees are up. Press your elbows down and walk your shoulder blades underneath you. So that's setting up the stability. Then press your hands into the earth. Press all four corners of both feet into the earth. And lift the hips. Walk the shoulders underneath you a little more. See if you can lift the hips and then scoop the tailbone toward the knees. So you've created stability and lift. And then we're going to move with the breath. So I want you to inhale, just drop your hips down so the low back stays lifted. And then exhale, lift up, scoop the tail toward the knees. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Inhale down. Exhale. Lift and scoop the tail toward the knees. Good, 1 more time. Drop the hips. So you kind of have that pelvic tilt action going even in this stable bridge posture. Good, and release. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Bring the left knee in. Interlace your hands behind the left hamstring. Push the ankle and the knee together. Attempt to lift the low back by pushing your hips down. You can straighten the left leg if you like that extra hamstring stretch, or just keep the leg bent. It's up to you. Push up through the heel if so. And still pressing the knee and the ankle together. Feel that all the way up into your right hip. Good. Release. Let's go to the other side. Left ankle over right knee. Interlace your hands behind the right hamstring. And then you're going to lift the hip, lift the low back by pressing down the hips. And again, straightening that leg if you like that version, lifting up through the heel. Pressing the ankle and the knee together is what activates all the way up into the left hip. So we do provide strength and flexibility at the same time, which probably is where that stability comes from, right? Because we want both the range of motion, but we want the strength and integrity. So this isn't just about stretching as far as you can. This is about actually adhering to the natural integrity of the body. Good, release that. Now this time I want you to take your feet wide and just gently rock your knees side to side. So something else that can be happening in the low back is a tight psoas, which is a little bit tricky to stretch. So, and we don't want to overdo it. So you're going to listen to your body, and if this feels good to you to stay this way, go for it. If it feels good to just let your knees come over to the left side, the right ankle is coming, or the right knee is coming over to the left ankle, and reach the right arm up overhead. So now you're stretching through that whole right side in a way that really might create some freedom in the low back. This isn't, it's not a hard pose to do. It's one that we sometimes can overlook, and I know for me, I need to be adding this into my practice a little more regularly. So go ahead and come on to the other side. Knees drop over to the right, but we do want the feet wider than your sticky mat. So take your feet out as wide as your sticky mat so that your feet aren't together here. They're separated. And then reaching up through the left side and really feeling that length come all the way through. So that psoas muscle is tricky because it actually comes through the body. It attaches from the low back and through the body and then down, and attaches to the inner thigh. So there's a lot going on there. We can talk about that on another day. But especially if you ask a massage therapist, they'll say it's a little tricky to get in and get at that muscle. So stretching it yourself often is probably a good way to avoid low back stuff. So now with your feet down and knees up, just do that cat-cow again and notice what's going on in the low back. Hug the knees into the chest, rock side to side, and notice what you're feeling. See if that's maybe dissipated a little bit from the beginning. And maybe it won't in just one class. You can, the beauty of this is you can replay this over and over if that felt like it gave you some relief. Go ahead and walk the legs out, and we'll come into a Shavasana position. So again, pressing the elbows down, lift the heart, walk the shoulder blades underneath. So we create that stability and integrity in the body Let the feet just naturally flop open to the sides. The low back is lifted, the thighs release to the earth, and the eyes close. The eyes move back into the skull. The teeth part and the tongue relaxes away from the roof of the mouth. The neck is soft, the chest is soft. The hands aren't gripping, the thighs release, the calves and the feet. So I would like to let you be in this position as long as you like. And when you come up, remember, we gently reawaken the body, hugging the knees into the chest, rolling onto the side, and rolling sideways to a seated position. I thank you so much for joining me today. Remaining in this Shavasana position as long as you like, it's so helpful for the body. Thank you so much for being here.